So today's episode, we're actually going to talk a little bit about financial relationships, because some of us we got some good ones, but some of us, like myself, have come a long way, and we want to strengthen that financial relationship. So as always, man, let's get right into it. Money is definitely not the end all be all. There is so much more importance when it comes towards money. And throughout the years, like now I'm in my 30s, I would say like my thought process on how money works has completely changed. I used to think about money of the things I could buy, like just like the actual tangible things, like things that I would accumulate, and eventually, to be fair, sometimes I would end up like sincerely donating them, because over time I realized I didn't really even need it in the first place, or maybe I just thought I needed it, but I really didn't need it, and I would accumulate it and then I would donate it. But over the years, what I realized when it comes towards money, what is the one thing that I like about money? Because we're allowed to like things about money. There's nothing wrong with that. And the one thing that I like about money, which also changes the way I also do gifts when it comes towards birthdays, Christmas, and stuff like that, is I like the memories it creates. So I could go and purchase anything I want in this world, anything you think of. Let's go and buy it, right? Let's say hypothetically. And then what? We use it a couple times, it sits down, and we don't, like, after a while it just kind of goes away. But if I were to spend that same amount of money and invite people I love and care about, and we just have a great time, great conversation, and we're celebrating something, I've created a memory that sits in everybody's mind. I'll give you an example. One year, shortly after COVID, I planned a day for my sister-in-law and I and two other people to go and go to a winery. I found this place not too far out of the city, and when I mean we had a blast the entire time, I had never laughed. Till this day, it's such a core memory. We laughed the entire time. And I remember saying to myself, wow, this really does work. Because, like I said, the memory is in here. And we used to do this all the time, probably as kids. Our parents probably did it for us from time to time, or some type of adult or guardian. They would create core memories in our brain of happiness and joy. But then when we started becoming adults, we figured that we needed to have the latest and greatest and, chase that type of dream. And all that is good and well, but I rather go for the memories at this point of my life. I'd rather go and create those thought process where I can go back and be like, hey, you remember that time we went to that winery? We had so much fun. I'd rather create those moments. We can buy things anytime we want. But when it comes down to money, what is your relationship with it is the big question. And that's something where I had to learn. Like, for example, some of us emotionally spend. When things kind of don't go right, or we might not even realize that things are not going right, but all of a sudden we're in the Amazon app trying to order everything we could think of, and then we're on like social media with like crazy Amazon things that you need to buy. You don't need to buy all of them. You really don't. Maybe some of them are great for you, but to be fair, we don't need to purchase all of them. We don't, right? But we automatically may just look at these apps and say, oh my God, this is a great thing. I want to buy it. And then what happens to it? It sits in a corner, you barely even use it. It sits in a closet, in a box, and you haven't touched it in a year. The question you got to ask yourself is, what emotion was I going through around that time when I purchased it? Could have been a dopamine of just being like, yeah, the excitement. And then of course it wears down, like a brand new car after a while, right? Or a brand new pair of shoes, or a shirt that you may have worn and you're like, okay, yeah, like I'll just put it in the closet like everything else. Our emotions are attached to our money. But at the same time, we can have a good emotion and spend it and allocate it in a way that it creates some core memories that we will never ever forget. So there's 3 steps I want you to think about when it comes to where it's your own money and manifesting money into your life. And you could try these 3 steps to help you out to manifest, because sometimes we manifest, the first one, we manifest out of desperation. Of course, all of us want money. Like, who are we kidding? All of us want money to some degree, right? But when you manifest money out of desperation, I mean, there's going to be some resistance there. Why do you want the money? Well, I want the money because of this is happening. But One thing I've learned, yeah, I know that sounds kind of crazy to even say you're massive. Of course I'm going to manifest money out of desperation. What do you mean? Of course, I get that. I want you to think about it this way. Even when you're going through those moments, you are abundant, believe it or not. Contrary to what society has told you, you are abundant, and we've always been abundant. We've always been abundance. We always carried abundance. It's never missed us. It's just we've been chasing this cycle of how to keep up with everybody else. But the truth of the matter is we don't need to keep up with everybody else. We don't. We just got to keep up with ourselves. We just got to make ourselves feel good. We just got to take care of us. It's not about what other people look and feel. And to be fair with you, some of those people, to be true, you may be thinking they're wearing Versace, but they're wearing Achi. Like, I'm just saying, you don't have to worry about what another person's doing. You just got to focus on yourself. So when it comes around manifesting, if you're manifesting out of desperation, you're not, that energy you're putting out of desperation, you're not going to get some good energy back. Because what's that desperation? Desperation is not like good energy, right? If you say, hey, yo, look, here's the situation. I lost my job. I got laid off. My puppy's sick. My car broke down. And I know that this is possibly just something I have to deal with. But I'm asking you, universe. I'm asking you, God. I'm asking my ancestors. If you can bestow to me some sense of relief in the financial department, I would be so grateful for it. Now, that's not desperation. Now, if you come off and say, look, everything's happening, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you act out of that sense of desperation, that's energy. We all are flows of energy. But if you act in a sense of like, yo, I know I'm abundant, and you stand on that. I know I'm abundant, and I know what I'm about, and I know I gotta go through this right now. That's another part of it, which is acceptance. So I'm just wondering if you could bestow to me and help me out right here. It's all in the tone. You feel me? Like, I know you're probably like, this sounds the same. Nah, yo, it's all in the tone of how you are presenting it and how you're saying it and the energy that you put behind it. Another tip is your vocabulary. So a while back, it was 2023, I made a vow to myself that every year I remove a word out of my vocabulary. And the word that I chose last year was broke. I actually haven't said it. I was manifesting today. I was like, I haven't said that word in so long. And I'm like, I was proud of myself. You feel me? Because I was so intentional about getting that word out of my vocabulary. And the reason why I removed that word, which was so simplistic, like we always used to say it in my household, my parents still say it to this day, if they're trying to explain something, because I'm not broken. And broke has such a negative connotation to it. So I was just like, why am I saying that I'm that when I'm not? I'm not. So I removed it out of the vocabulary, and we got to watch what we're saying when it comes towards manifesting money. Our vocabulary is important. Kind of going back to the first one in terms of tone. The words we use holds power. Every word that we use holds power. So when you are trying to manifest money into your life, using those type of, like, the words that you know hold negative, like a negative weight to what you are trying to say, you got to be smart about that. Because what you're saying, our mouth is a very powerful tool, because we can speak things into existence and we can hold ourselves back by just saying words. Because once you say those words are gone. You've said them. They're out there in the open. They're out there, and the energy's out there. You can't get it back. So be wary and be cautious of the vocabulary that you're using. Perhaps maybe that's the word that you want to remove from your vocabulary today. That you're no longer that. That you're no longer BROKE. That you are abundant instead. And that's not faking it till you make it. That's speaking that into existence, because you are abundant. You're abundant right now. There was a video that Gary Vee was interviewing this young lady asked Gary Vee a question like, I just want to be somebody. And Gary Vee stopped her. If you haven't seen it, I'll see if I can find and clip it.
I know one day I'm going to be somebody. And you'll know when I...
Please look at my face. You're somebody now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's the game. I was somebody long before people knew who I was, and I believed that. You're somebody now, Letitia.
Gary Vee stopped her and said, you are. And it was so crazy because when he said it, I actually said, I'm like, what are you talking about, girl? I remember saying that on my phone. Like, what are you talking about, girl? You are somebody. And that's not faking it till you make it. And saying that you are abundant and that you are rich, that's not faking it till you make it. That's you standing on who you are. So watch your vocabulary and how you're using it, because your vocabulary holds power. And lastly, your money is not the end all be all. We got these, don't let the online fool you. Please don't let online fool you and make you think that money is everything. Money is not everything. Now, yes, we need money to survive and live. And like I said, money could create memories in the end. And how you approach money and how you kind of do a survey of your money emotionally can benefit you 1000%. Because then you can start allocating your money in a way that fuels your life even more, instead of just spending it sporadically. But at the end of the day, money is not everything. All right, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're talking about money manifestation. I hope it helped you out to kind of figure out the basics of how to wrap your head around your relationship with money. And hey, look, I'm doing it too at the moment as well. I'm recalibrating my brain on how I thought money should be and how I want money to work for me. That's one of the things. I want money to start working for me. And go ahead, screenshot this episode. Click. Put it in your stories, tag us in at Dope Life Coach or Dope Life Coach _ on Instagram. Dope Life Coach is on TikTok. Greatly appreciate it. As always, walk with peace. I'll see you next week. Walk with love.